What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Jan here, and I want to share some important ideas. I'm going to put this on the bookshelf, but here at Autumn right now, and we were just doing some fixed step, and a specific fixed step game where I'm playing with one arm, she's playing with two arms. So we're going to talk about all that in a second, but first and foremost, we're going to talk about the concept of spiraling. I put out a video last night that was talking about caught the end of a conversation of spiraling that I was talking to Lona Bito, push hands champion Lona Bito about. And the concept of spiraling, which many of you may know from your own push hands competitions or experience, we're going to move back, is the concept of, hey, I'm going to take this person's body and I'm going to move it up and over. I'm going to pick it up and turn it to get her to step, to get the opponent to step in a particular direction. Autumn asked a really interesting question that I think really allows us to articulate the value of spiraling even more. And she was asking about what happens when her weight is in her back leg. So we're going to do it on me. She's going to push me into my back leg. So in the US Tai Chi push hands team, on our style of push hands, our particular style, we always say 70% of the weight forward pretty much at all times unless it's strategically not there. So right now my weight's on my back. I want to, based on that principle, reclaim 70% of my weight forward because that'll give me more options to play to win from our strategy. So your strategy might be different, but that's where I'm coming from with this. So I want to reclaim this space. So what I do here to reclaim this space is I want to push her back just a little bit enough and roll her weight up and on an angle. More than likely, this time I'm going to go on this angle. She's pushed me back. She's claiming my space, cutting off my left hip. So I'm going to try to pick her up a little bit and drop my weight at the same time. Notice that as I pick her up, and dropping my weight, with the majority of that weight in my back leg, I have to turn my hips to get her to come up and over, spiraling in this direction. So by picking her up and dropping my hips, and turning my hips, I'm immediately starting to shift my weight into this front leg. And all I want to do is not get pushed off in this emergency scenario where someone's, if you're playing fixed step or you don't want to give up any particular space because there might be a barrier behind you of some sort or some sort of danger zone behind you, like traffic, for example. But if you're playing the sport, it could just be out of the ring. So I want to make sure that I'm rolling her pressure up and at an angle. That's the spiral. I'm dropping myself down. And the realistic reaction from somebody who's pushing you into the back is that when you start to lift them, pretty much any direction you push somebody, they're going to push back. That's a subconscious reaction for most people, unless you're really into your Tai Chi. So I anticipate her pushing me down. I'm going to use her pushing me down from the spiraling up energy. And so please hold your stance because she's giving it up. I want for this demonstration, I want her to maintain it. She's pushed me into the back. And these demonstrations really only work when someone's giving you the real pressure. So she's giving me the real pressure. I want to lift her up and allow her resistance pushing me back down to root me. So her resistance pushing me back down is actually pushing me into my 70% weight position. So that means that I lost 70% weight. I took her pressure here. I lifted her up and dropped my hips and turned my hips. And that natural turn starts to put me into my front leg. I keep going there and I keep allowing her pressure, her resistance to push me and root me. Now she's making me heavier without knowing it. So the second I know that, I can take advantage of it. So that's where so much of the push hands game becomes about mental. It's about the mental game. It's essentially you realizing that the position you're in is advantageous. So I'm like, okay, she's pushing me down, she's making me heavier, great. So now I can do the exact opposite. She's resisting the upward spiral here. Now I'm going to drop it down and get her to step. So I bring her up here, boom, I drop it down here. And then I intentionally melt the hip away to get her to step. So that's just one concept I wanted to share. And I'm going to press stop on this video. I'll set another one in a second just to talk about the one arm push hands game. But just wanted to share that, and I'll go into much more detail soon because 2022 is going to bring some major sports push hands announcements for the entire community, as well as some leveled up video content, which is already in the works. Love you guys.